Yogamaya. Yogamaya is a story within herself. It is a story of an insurgent who established herself as an epitome of resistance, in the long run of her life contributing selflessly for the establishment of Dharma Rajya and to place a different paradigm in the society. She is recognized as an antecedent female revolutionary who inscribed herself into the history of Nepal by speaking for unvoiced souls who were oppressed by the fear of British Ranas. In a patriarchal society where even men were silenced due to the authority that the Ranas held, she ventured out to surpass the boundaries and stood against every immoral gesture, embracing all the vituperate and criticisms of the society. Yogamaya was a reverent women's rights activist born in 1867 in Mazwa Besi, Nepali Dara, Bhojpur. She was married to a Koirala boy at the age of 7. After losing her husband to death just at the age of 9, she was characterized as a widow and authenticated as unfortunate by her in-laws. She was victimized by the loath of her in-laws for several years until she found it intolerable and escaped to her maternal home, where she was not completely accepted, and this further developed the feeling of rebellion towards her social traditions within her. She then eloped to Assam with a Brahmin boy who was her second husband. He died earlier too, and yet she got married to another boy and gave birth to her only daughter Nainkala. Her hardships continued and she lost her third husband to death too. Executed every act that was considered audacious, like getting remarried after being characterized as a widow twice, which was regarded as an indefensible sin then. After dealing with a numbers of hardships, one after another, she arrived back to her hometown and set her mindset towards living a life of an ascetic. She then resided in a hut there in Mazwa Besi after granting the responsibility of her daughter to her brother. Every experience from her past and contradictions in the society had liberated her from her affections. Yogamaya's arrival back to Mazwa Besi became a matter of curiosity for the villagers, and creating opportunities out of people's curiosity, she started developing friendly relations with the villagers. She started debating against social cultural impractice like untouchability, das pratha, sati pratha, which was a stain in human civilization, and stood against everything that was against humanity. She was highly against erstwhile judicial conventions and highly expressed her condemnation towards it. She was a really good spokesperson, and her speaking invited many people to be her disciples. Her poems helped her to reach out to many people, disseminating awareness. Her consciousness towards life encouraged her to follow the path of austerity. She practiced utmost discipline. To accommodate her body in different seasons and environments, she kept on meditating and continued austerity even in harsh surroundings. She aimed to be free from all worldly desires, affections, hedonism, and marched towards the path of social reformation. She believed everyone to be equal, and she implemented her beliefs into action. So-called high-class conservative people criticized her for her actions. She implored Jiddha Samsher, demanding truth, dharma, alms. She even approached him in person, requesting for good governance, which was assured to her but was never implemented beyond words. She then gave threatenings to the Rana rulers to sacrifice her life by burning herself into fire, along with some 240 disciples, if their request was not to be respected. They tried to translate their challenge into action, but that went in vain when some royal soldiers interrupted their action. Yogamaya, along with her few disciples, was arrested for the action of protest against the Rana regime, and this was the first case where women were arrested for political reasons. It was remarkable how an initiative woman rebelled against rampant government and feudal system but was suppressed. She was released after 4 months. She plunged into water along with her 67 disciples into enraged Arun River, to allure dishonor to the then Rana regime and mortify the Rana. This was the last and most remarkable act of Yogamaya. On 14 July 1941, Yogamaya fearlessly advocated the change.